Throughout history, wars have shaped the world more than any other force, and behind every great war is a commander, a mind that turns chaos into strategy, fear into discipline, and defeat into triumph. But what makes a general truly great? Is it the number of battles they won, the size of their empire, the brilliance of their tactics, or perhaps their ability to inspire or terrify both their men and their enemies? In this video, we'll take you through the 5 most legendary military minds in history. These are not just warlords or conquerors, they are masters of strategy, innovation, and influence. Some ruled empires, others never wore a crown, but all of them changed the course of history. Let's begin. Criteria. Before we dive in, here's how we ranked them. Strategic brilliance. Did they outsmart their enemies? Historical impact. Did their actions change the course of history? Legacy. Are their tactics studied even today? Success. Did they actually win? Charisma and leadership? Could they command loyalty or fear? With that in mind, let's start with number 5. Hannibal Barca, the man who terrified Rome. Hannibal wasn't just a brilliant general, he was Rome's worst nightmare. Born in Carthage in the 3rd century BCE, he grew up under a father who taught him one lesson: hate Rome. And he did. Oh, he really did. In one of the most audacious moves in military history, Hannibal marched an army, complete with war elephants, across the Alps to invade Italy. The journey was brutal. He lost thousands of men. But what came next would shake the Roman Republic to its core. At the Battle of Cannae, Hannibal faced a Roman army nearly twice the size of his own, and he annihilated it. Using a double envelopment tactic, he encircled the Romans and destroyed them. It remains one of the most studied battles in military history. But despite his brilliance, Hannibal never managed to take Rome itself. And over time, the Romans adapted. They stopped fighting him head-on and waged a war of attrition. Eventually, the tide turned. Rome invaded Carthage, and Hannibal was forced to return home, only to be defeated by Scipio Africanus at the Battle of Zama. Still, Hannibal's tactics and daring left a mark that would echo for millennia. Even centuries later, Roman generals would warn their troops with one phrase: Hannibal is at the gates. March 4. Genghis Khan, the master of mobility and terror. In the early 13th century, a Mongol warrior named Temujin united the scattered tribes of the steppe. He became Genghis Khan, universal ruler, and unleashed one of the most devastating military forces the world has ever seen. Genghis Khan didn't just conquer, he reinvented the art of war. His armies were fast, disciplined, and terrifying. They could ride for days without stopping, surviving on dried meat and horseblood. They used psychological warfare, intelligence networks, and brutal tactics to shatter enemies before a single sword was drawn. One of his greatest victories came against the Khwarezmian Empire. After the empire betrayed and killed his diplomats, Genghis responded with fury. He launched a campaign of total war, burning cities, massacring populations, and dismantling one of the most powerful empires in the Islamic world. But he was more than a destroyer. He valued loyalty, promoted merit over birthright, and established trade networks that stretched from China to Europe. By the time of his death, Genghis Khan ruled over the largest contiguous land empire in history. And though his methods were brutal, his legacy reshaped Eurasia, politically, economically, and genetically. 3. Napoleon Bonaparte. The art of modern war. Napoleon wasn't born into greatness, he seized it. Rising from the chaos of the French Revolution, he became a symbol of modern military genius and imperial ambition. His campaigns rewrote the rules of warfare. He moved armies with unprecedented speed, used flexible corps systems, and centralized command. He understood morale, supply lines, and timing like few others. His masterpiece? The Battle of Austerlitz. Facing both Russian and Austrian forces, Napoleon feigned weakness, drew them into a trap, and crushed them. It was a symphony of deception, timing, and execution. But Napoleon's genius wasn't just tactical. He inspired loyalty, drove reforms, and reshaped Europe's political map. Yet, like many great generals, he overreached. His invasion of Russia was a disaster. And at Waterloo, facing a coalition of European powers, his luck and empire finally ran out. Still, Napoleon's legacy is undeniable. Military academies still study his campaigns. His name still commands awe, and his story remains a warning. Genius can conquer the world, but not always keep it. 2. Alexander the Great, the unstoppable force. At just 20 years old, Alexander inherited the Macedonian throne. By 30, he had conquered the known world. Tutored by Aristotle and inspired by Achilles, Alexander combined intellect with audacity. His tactics were daring, his leadership magnetic. In battle after battle, from Granicus to Issus to Gaugamela, he faced larger armies and crushed them. Gaugamela was his masterpiece. Vastly outnumbered by Persian King Darius III, Alexander used speed, deception, and shock tactics to shatter the Persian lines. It marked the fall of the Achaemenid Empire. But conquest wasn't his only goal. Alexander founded cities, spread Hellenistic culture, and dreamed of uniting East and West. His empire stretched from Greece to India, a feat never matched. Yet his ambition consumed him. After years of campaigning, his men grew weary, and in 323 BCE, just as he planned new conquests, he died, likely from fever, in Babylon. No one ever defeated Alexander in battle, and his legend endures as the gold standard of what a general can achieve. 1. Khalid ibn al-Walid, the Sword of God. You may not know his name, but you should. Khalid ibn al-Walid was an Arab general in the 7th century, and he was never defeated in battle, not once. Originally a commander against Islam, he converted after witnessing the discipline and belief of Muhammad's followers. He quickly rose through the ranks and became the Prophet's most trusted military leader. His tactics were revolutionary. At the Battle of Mu'tah, he led a Muslim force of just 3,000 against a Byzantine army of 200,000, and escaped with minimal losses. At Yarmouk, he faced a massive Byzantine force again. Using terrain, timing, and lightning-fast cavalry, he shattered the enemy and opened the gates of the Levant to Islamic rule. He moved faster than his enemies could react, struck before they were ready, and always adapted. He once said, "If I were to leap from a mountain, I would land on my feet." Despite his victories, Khalid never sought power. He lived simply, died quietly, and left a legacy of unmatched military brilliance. Even centuries later, Arab historians would say, "Women will never give birth to one like Khalid again." So, who is your #1 general in history? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because history isn't just about the past, it's about understanding the forces that shaped our present. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.